Yo, yo, it's the Beach Boy Young Pinch, and you're listening to Anthony Rogers Show.
You are now listening to the best show in the universe, The Anthony Rogers Show. You probably wish that this was your show, but it's not. It's The Anthony Rogers Show. Tell all of your friends to listen to this show.
Welcome back to the greatest show in the entire universe. Today we have a huge rapper that should have said no to this. I think he's going backwards in his career by being here. Young Pinch, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, brother. Doing good.
Dude, I found your music a couple years ago. I guess when you blew up with that song with Little Skies, that I remember your lines, but I don't remember the name of the song. That fucking song killed, man. That was so fucking good.
Thank you. Did it.
That was killer. And you have so many views, it's insane. I feel like you're underrated, but you have millions of views. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't think you could be underrated with 60 million views, but if I feel like you are still, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean the music has definitely made a dope impact, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm definitely just getting started as far as on my end and getting to the world.
That's awesome, man. So what is your writing process like for your kind of style, man? How do you write a song, I guess?
A lot of different ways. Inspiration comes from all different places at all different times. So sometimes it'll be spur of the moment and just be in the studio and put a beat on and just start venting whatever comes to me. Sometimes I'll freestyle punch in songs. Sometimes I'll just be riding in the car or something like that and write a song and then end up recording it a week or two later when I'm in the studio or whatever. But yeah, man, all types of stuff. I have a studio at my house, studio sessions, but a lot of my favorite writing happens when I'm in the car, honestly.
That's crazy, man. That's interesting to think about. Because I think you have a what I'd call a patented sound, man. You have a really good upbeat kind of sound and vibe and stuff. It's not I mean, some of the stuff's kind of funny and comical and stuff, I guess, like subject wise, but it's a cool style, man, and it's and that old Beach Boy thing you're doing. It's almost like the Beach Boys, like that just positive California vibe. Is what it seems like, man. It's a cool thing you're doing right now.
Yeah, man, just trying to stick to the roots and bring something different into the game and talk about some stuff on these records. Definitely trying to start talking about some stuff on these records instead of just making music to make music like a lot of people are these days.
Yeah, no, your songs are great, man. And it's funny because you seem young. I'm 36, so you seem young as fuck to me. And you have a song called "When I Was Young," so it's just a funny concept to me. But I realize you're talking about middle school or something. In the song, it seems or high school or something. It's just it's funny seeing a 24. I don't know. You're 20 something. I like to think about being young. It's just kind of funny to me. But that song fucking kills. I mean, it's a great song.
Yeah, everyone always kind of has given me that my whole career being young pinch and when I was young and all these songs, all the playing on being young, but I'm barely 25. So it's man, you're still young, but I feel like I've been through a lot in my life to be able to speak on. And at the same time, yeah, I'm talking about being even younger than I am right now, high school and, first times fucking around with girls and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and that song is funny. That concept. All right, so is it hard being successful and young, the pressures of I guess what being a young rapper that I mean fucking kills it right now. I mean, it looks like.
I mean, 100%, bro. I feel like my whole 18 to 23 kind of just went by in a blink. You know what I mean? Super busy, and there's a lot of growing up as a normal person that I missed out on and skipped. I learned a lot of shit and became very knowledgeable and wise in certain ways, but then at the same time I missed out on a lot of just normal growing up and normal things that I think every human should definitely experience and go through. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, for a while it was especially when I was first starting to blow up and having all this success and stuff like that, it was hard to manage my emotions and my life and me as a person, and then also doing the whole career thing and managing that as a career and being young pinch as well. So it definitely got super super hard a couple times where it was I started going to substance abuse heavy and certain things like that, where it's It's just kind of how I was raised and the way that I like saw growing up to deal with certain things. So kind of just eats you whole. The industry kind of eats you whole. But luckily, since COVID in 2020, I definitely got to like take a step back and grow up and definitely like get in everything that I was missing before and get my head back screwed on straight and stuff. And yeah, man, it's been a pretty wild past 2 years for me, just as like a normal human, especially taking this step away from like being young Pinch all the time and going like full bore with my whole music career and stuff. So it's definitely been a wild ride, and I'm still hanging on, trying to see where it's going to take me in the long run.
Yeah, no, it's got to be crazy. I mean, like the level of success you've reached, I think, as an artist, it's got to be crazy for like a more seasoned like adult. I couldn't imagine being that young with like the like without like that's got to be nuts, man. Like, and I think you have a positive like kind of energy. I think that probably helps you a lot because you don't seem so as dark as a lot of the artists are. It's like and not to say there's no darkness in your songs, but just to say like there's no. I mean, it's not as dark. It's like a psychedelic kind of like I don't know. What would you call your music actually? That'd be the like what kind of genre?
People ask me that all the time, and
Hard to define.
I don't even think you could really like pick one genre because I'm so all over the place. You know what I mean?
I'd say
I've
that.
got records that fit all different types of genres, and I think it's really just like it's definitely like it does my voice and my cadences and my like kind of style of the way I like sing and rap and come off on records kind of like holds it all together. But the second you change that beat or you throw it on an acoustic or you put a band behind it, it kind of just it breaks the genre right then and there. But
Right. No, yeah, it's crazy. It's like you have like a patent kind of sound, I'd say, like with your vocals and stuff, and like your delivery and your rhythm and stuff. But yeah, it's like some beats are rap, some aren't. I mean, it's just like I wouldn't know how to classify it. I like that, and I don't think we have to put everything in a genre. I just didn't know how you would view it. Like the artist that creates it.
and it's just like I make wavy music. That's what I always tell people. Like the cool quick answer to that is I make wavy music, man. It's like good vibes, good waves. You could listen to it realistically. There's a song to listen to at like any time of your life, any point of the day, because that's how I am as an artist. I tried to like put my life and put my experiences into the music. You know what I mean? And I've been through a lot and felt a lot of different ways. So it's like I kind of covered a pretty good spectrum of like song emotions and song vibes and things like that. But yeah, man, it's definitely been a blessing to be able to have people listen and be able to relate and connect and be inspired by the music that just comes out of me kind of naturally. So it's like it's a blessing.
Yeah, reading the comments on some of your videos, man, like people, like I never thought about it from like a younger man's perspective, but like there's a lot of people in there talking about how like they listen to throughout their day in high school and like passing the hallways and stuff. I mean, just like you affect a lot of young people with their music too. I think like I mean, not just like people my age. I mean, I see that more almost that like you're like that's probably the kind of fan base, and that's awesome to be able to like touch that. I feel like, and I think you're like you remind me a lot of Post Malone in a way where like you're not like I don't see people being mad at you. I don't see like anybody like you're not like you seem like a dude who's just chill, gets along with everybody. Like I'd say like I see like Post Malone like that and like Cisco Adler like that too, almost like dudes that like just don't really like. I couldn't see you ever getting angry almost. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like I feel like you don't seem like a kind of guy who wastes time like negativity. Is that true or?
I mean, for the most part, I try not to, but I would be lying if I said, I'm not human. I don't get angry. I'm not negative. I've suffered before when I was younger a lot more than I do now in the past few years of like having a more negative mindset. You know what I mean? But it's just got to rewire your brain and the way that it works and, put faith in something else other than yourself and kind of hold yourself to a higher standard than just being a rock star or superstar, just being you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I definitely always have tried to like promote like like my first record that blew up, Don't Matter Where You From, you could rock with us. Like it's all good, doesn't matter where you're from, not really got too much to prove. And going into like the demographic of my fan base and stuff, it's been wild for me from day one to now to see all the different age groups and locations across the world and little pockets that I've touched and like been able to have people like really resonate with my music. And it's wild because it's like I couldn't even like tell you what the main demographic for my music is because I've met so many different people, so many ages, so many different walks of life that like
Yo, do you want to eat potato chips without getting like fatter or gross or out of shape or something? Get some wild protein chips. These are Nashville hot ones. These are chicken breast, egg white, bone broth. Those are the ingredients. This is why they're so high in protein, 10 grams per bag. And I get them by the box. Use promo code LEGENDARY for a discount and try them out yourself. Don't take my word for it.
Have at least a couple songs where they're like, those are the ones. And it's pretty crazy to me, but yeah, man, I've definitely always tried to be a bit more like, you know, even if I'm going through some rough times or I have like some negative things going on, I'll try to like put a positive spin on it, whether that even just be, you know, like, it might be what I'm saying is kind of like sad or negative, but the way I'm saying it or singing it makes you feel good about it. Makes you feel like, you know, it might not be a bad thing.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like vibe you seem like you have. I mean, you're a total stranger to me. I just listen to your music, you know. But I feel like that kind of vibe just in this environment. I think I can see that, and I don't see you like waste your time on bullshit. It doesn't seem like that anyway. It's like I think you're kind of smart artistically speaking, like and like make good stuff. And like, how old were you when you blew up originally? Like how old were you when you first started experiencing like what you'd call like fame?
Probably like 19, just turned 19.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure I released 7-1 Forever when I was like 18, just about to turn 19. And yeah, man, I mean, that whole project 7-1 Forever was really about like my childhood and like high school and just like what I was up to that point. So I think that's like what you're saying earlier, the high school kids for sure. It's like I have so many kids now that are still fans that are like, bro, you got me through high school, man. You're like the only reason that like I was like kept my head on my shoulders and like did this and that. And to me, that's like full circle inspiring because I remember being that kid in high school listening to Nipsey Hussle and being like, when he says in his song, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I got kids in high school. I wouldn't have, if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have made it through. And now I got that full circle moment where there's kids telling me that. It's kind of like, whoa, bro, it's kind of super wild. And especially just to see like how long I've been in the game for now. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been like 6-7 years, or about 6 years since that project came out. It's like kids did go to high school and they're done now. Like I'm not 18 anymore. I'm 25, man. I'm becoming like an actual like adult, grown man finally. You know what I mean? Instead of just, you know, oh, he's way grown, way more mature, older than his age, but it's a rock star stuck, you know what I mean, in a kid's body. It's like, you know, it's hard to grow up. But yeah, man, it's been a wild ride for sure from 2016 to 2022. That's for sure.
What was your first like I don't have to have a day job kind of moment? Like I made it type shit, you know?
I mean, to be honest with you, bro, like I never worked the actual job in my entire life. Like when I was younger, like in high school and stuff, I would like trim weed under the table, sell weed, stuff like that. I kind of had like a pretty big chip on my shoulder for like authority, people telling me what to do, having a boss, working for somebody else type of thing. I was kind of already instilled into me. So by the time that I graduated high school, I was like, all right, I'm going to be successful like one way or another. And I want to be my own boss, you know, like whether that's clothing, whether that's music, whatever, you know? So right after I graduated, I started going to like community college and stuff because my grandma adopted me from my mom when I was super young. So I was able to get like all these sort of like crazy grants from the government to just go to school at community college, right at Golden West College, right across the street from me and my grandma's spot. And I was getting like $3,500 a month just to go to class. And in between all the other little things that I was doing on the side that I won't talk about too much, I was chilling, you know what I mean? So I was able to go up to LA. And when I started going up to LA all the time in like 2016, that's when I was like, okay, I don't really have time to go to class anymore. If I'm going to go full-fledged into this music thing, like I'm up here all the time, I'm missing class now and this, that, and the other thing. So I decided I think I did like 1 year, 1 semester or something like that. And then I dropped out and and that's when I kind of was like, all right, I'm going to dedicate myself to this music thing full bore. And, you know, after that, luckily I was able to like start getting some shows, start doing some things. And I mean, it took about another 6 months to a year till it was like started actually really like getting some money from the music and stuff like that. It was kind of like I had $1,000 in my bank account, but like I'm making it work and we're just, you know, ends meet, just just to be able to eat and get to the studio and be able to try and contribute a little bit at home. But then, yeah, man, 7-1 Forever kind of started taking off the whole project, and everything kind of started changing. And I found out I'd made a bunch of money, and me and the production company that I've been signed to since I was 18 kind of had like a rough go at it. I found out there's a bunch of money I hadn't been paid yet, kind of had a big falling out. Took me a couple months to kind of get that squared away and like get my money. And then after that, it was kind of like, man, I'm fortunate and blessed enough to say I haven't really worried about money since then, man. I mean, aside from like independent catalog that I got with the production company and get paid off that, and what I was able to do with Columbia, and even now barely releasing music, like it's a blessing. I don't really have to stress on money like that. It's been great.
What advice would you give somebody young, like listening to this or watching this, like to get to follow their dream in any way? I guess, like, I mean, like, say, I mean, maybe not everybody wants to be a rapper, but I mean, like, what would your advice be, like, to be successful, like, for people listening?
I would say, well, first and foremost, like, don't ever give up whatever you're doing, because you never know like how close you really are to where you want to be, or how close you are to a breakthrough or whatever. And I would also say that, like, you gotta be your biggest believer and your biggest fan, because no one else is gonna want to believe in you or support you until you already did it. You know what I mean? So you prove, until you know what I mean, went against the grain and did what they said that you couldn't do. Don't expect people to back you. Don't expect people to support you like that. Like, anticipate people not supporting you. Anticipate people talking shit. Anticipate the doubt, the hate, the jealousy. Anticipate all that and use it as fuel, and don't ever stop. You know what I mean? And once you start getting some leeway and you go, put the racehorse blinders on and don't worry about any of that, because that's when all the other shit's going to double up even more. People think like, oh, you're going to make it, and then the doubt's going to stop, and this, that, or any of that stuff. Like, no, it picks up even more. You're always going to be as good as the last thing you did in some people's eyes, but as long as you're good within yourself and you're proud and you're happy of whatever you're doing, you really can't give a fuck what anybody else has to say about anything. You know what I mean? Take it with a grain of salt. Even if someone's kissing your ass, it's like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, I still know, like, you know what I mean, what I'm here to do, what my purpose is. I'm not going to let that shit get to my head and inflate my ego too much, because, boy, oh boy, when I was young, I had a big old inflated ego, you know what I mean? Especially as a kid who's, you know, 21 years old, signing over $1 million deals and making the most money out of everyone in his family. Like, it's hard to not an inflated fucking ego or a big head, but man, it's all about, you know, staying humble and staying true to yourself and not listening to everyone else. And whatever industry you might be in, there's going to be people that'll fuck it up for you. It's going to be people that are going to try and take advantage of you. There's snakes everywhere. And man, keep your eyes peeled, and you know what I mean? Just get a business manager once you can, get a lawyer once you can, get your own solid team, and just make sure everyone's just giving it their all. And the second that somebody's not, everyone's replaceable. You know what I mean? So make sure that you're not replaceable either, and just always give it your all, and make sure whatever you're doing makes you happy. Realistically, like, that's all that's going to matter. One day you're going to die. All the shit, all the success, money, whatever you got from it won't even matter, and it'll just be your memories and how you feel about it and your legacy that you left for the world, if it's still going after you go.
Yo, if you have a beard or you're aspiring to have a beard or whatever, everyone always asks me, they're like, well, what beard oil do you use? Like, it's like a common question, or like, they're like, how long have you been growing your beard? Which is like 5 years is the answer, but everybody asks me those two questions, basically. To answer one of those questions, the question I didn't answer, luxurious beard oil, I would get this stuff, use promo code Legendary for a discount, get their app and for other deals and stuff too, but they have like every scent in the world. I use this after the gym, after I shower, I just put this on, I'm like, bam. And like, for smell alone, this is worth it. Like, if you just want a cologne or something like that. But I mean, also, it makes your beard soft. And then a lot of people may notice this when they grow a beard longer. is that basically it gets like gross and like all this dry skin, but I don't have any of that. So I mean, I don't know if there's no gross dry skin under here from lack of water or whatever. But yeah, that's what I used. Luxurious Bastard Beard Oil. Use promo code LEGENDARY.